The Nintendo Direct was a huge success and was highly popular, but it seems like YouTubers are really doing their best at kind of downplaying it. Like, they're doing this thing where they're just like, oh, this was the last Nintendo Switch Direct ever. Like, of course it was good. Like, next time we're going to hear about the Switch 2. It's going to be great. Like, they're going to announce the really exciting projects then. Like, they're doing the thing they always do where they keep, like, hyping up something that doesn't exist in order to, like, hype up the things that we in order to downplay the things we already know about. Like pay no attention to Mario and Luigi. It's just a small handheld game. Pay no attention to Echoes of Wisdom. Like pay no attention to Dragon Quest 3. Oh, except for the censorship. We got to talk about that. Like pay no attention to Pokemon Legends EA. It has no release date. Like, ooh, pay no attention to Prime 4. It's probably coming out on Switch 2 anyway. Like, they keep doing this thing where they keep making these wild claims that have no basis and, like, keep repeating them ad nauseum until people, like, believe them. And right now, like, the trend is to, like, make it seem like the Switch 2 is launching, like, very early next year is the mindset. Like I remember when they were saying that like it was launching early this year, right? And 2023 and 2022, right? This has been going on for years. And every single Nintendo Direct season, they do this thing where they're just like, that wasn't that great of a Direct. Like, oh, I know people liked it, but the new console is coming soon. Like, there's no reason to think that. Like, I just got into a fight with that idiot, like Nintendo, the other day. Like, this Nintendo Direct isn't going to expand the install base. Yeah, the Switch is on its way to outselling the PS2. Like, it doesn't really need to expand its install base much going forward. Like, again, it's like people really think that people aren't playing their Switches that they have lying around. That only like new purchasers like buy games. Like it's absurd, it's ridiculous, but that's the narrative right now. Like let's ignore all like the record selling games that we've gotten over the past couple of years and just pretend that like no sales are going down. They've been doing this forever, but the thing that really gets me about 2024 in particular is that like we have such a killer lineup for this holiday season, right? Zelda, Mario Party, Mario and Luigi, Dragon Quest 3. Like, we have so many great games coming out in that period. And right now, people are seriously trying to say that, like, these games aren't good. They're little itty bitty, like, irrelevant releases. Nobody's getting excited for them. And that couldn't be farther from the truth, right? You know, I'm very excited about all those games. And right now, what they're trying to do is try to say that like, none of these are going to sell more than 10 million units. And I'm just kind of like, you are really, really underestimating the relevancy of Mario Party, right? Super Mario Party sold like 20 million. Like, I don't know how much Superstars sold. I think it was about like 15. Like, it was a little bit less. Like, I'm sure Jamboree's going to do fine, right? Like, people really underestimate just how much Mario Party actually sells. Like, it is the, like, family party game, right? It is so, so popular. And, like, I can't help but, like, feel that people really don't know just how well these games actually do. Like everyone just doesn't pay attention to it. Like, you know, the narrative right now. Like Tears of the Kingdom bombed. Like it sold 20 million units. Yeah, but the sales fell off a cliff. Yeah. But it sold 20 million units. So like they're completely avoiding the reality of the situation is that like Tears of the Kingdom objectively sold really, really, really well in order to push a narrative. You know, same with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. We're like, oh, it only sold 13 million units. There's no demand for for 2D Mario anymore. 13 million units is a flop to these people. Like, are you delusional? Like, are you out of touch with reality? Like, it's like they'll always look at Stellar Blade, right? You know, the same people are saying Stellar Blade is a massive success at 1 million units sold when like you know it had this really big like viral marketing shill campaign and like it had Sony behind it and it had all those weird like internet grifters like covering it incessantly like it was appalling to see what Stellar Blade to see the Stellar Blade situation play out, but it was amusing to see that in the end it only sold like 1 million units, right? It was not that big of a success story. And plenty of people who played the game are willing to come out and say it wasn't that good. But people don't want to hear it because it goes against the narrative. They're like, oh, we sure showed those SJWs, like completely unaware that they were completely played into their hands, right? Like again, they wanted this reaction out of you, right? Like without this controversy, they never ever would have gotten anyone to pay attention or care about Stellar Blade at all, right? Again, it's amazing seeing this play out over and over and over again, where people pretend that like these games, certain games are way bigger and more popular than they actually are, right? Like it wasn't that long ago where people were saying that like God of War 2018 was some like industry defining masterpiece, and now with the sequel nobody cares about it. You know, Halo was a big deal back in the day. Nobody cares about it, right? Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi is 20 years old, you know, and people are celebrating its return. I could see it being like the best selling Mario RPG ever. Being on Switch and being like the return to this franchise and having a new direction and stuff like that, a new developer. I think it has the potential to do it. Right? It's going to be a major hit. Echoes of Wisdom is going to do very well for itself. Like Link's Awakening sold like 5 million units. Like it did really well for like a remake like that. I think Echoes of Wisdom will sell about as much or more, right? Like considering it's a new game and stuff like that. Like yeah, why wouldn't Echoes of Wisdom sell more, right? I uh, I think the game's going to have a lot more eyes on it, like purely because you get to play as Zelda in this one, right? Like I think there is going to be like a lot of interest in this title, like purely for that specific reason. So again, why exactly are we pretending that Nintendo has had a poor year? Because this has been an issue like all year long. Is that like people have been saying, "Oh, there's no games to play. There's nothing coming out," and meanwhile, I'm playing stuff like Unicorn Overlord, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania, Rumble. Excuse me, I keep getting them confused. Luigi's Mansion 2. Like, there's been a lot of stuff coming out. You know, Endless Ocean Luminous. Like, there's been a lot of stuff coming out, but you haven't seen any of these grifters, any of these pretendos, any of these like YouTube channels really talking about any of it because they want to cover the new Nintendo consoles. They want to get those clicks, get your attention, like create the narrative, like get people to tune into the channel. They don't really care about the games. And that is kind of the thing I want to like really emphasize with this video is that like they don't care about the games, right? Like all they care about is getting hype and getting clicks for that hype, right? Like all they care about is manipulating their audience to keep them plugged in, to keep them like involved. Like I saw Super Metal Dave 64 tweet out something in regards to like some Nintendo insider rumor, right? You know, I found vlogs from him like in 2008, like promising us that like Resident Evil 5 would come to Wii because like oh Capcom wouldn't abandon its loyal Nintendo audience. Like, come on, buddy. Like we know. Like you are completely 100% off base with that prediction. Yeah, that's the narrative. That's the that's the reality of the situation we're in now. Is just like everybody's just constantly pretending that Nintendo's on the verge of like I don't know, like entering some new dark age, and that like all their upcoming games are terrible looking. When in reality, like things are looking better than ever. Like I have very great expectations for the future of Nintendo Switch in 2024 and beyond.